it's another episode of Rogan Radio in the studios of the infamous and very nice Casa La Rogan. Tonight we are actually simulcasting on the YouTube, and we are going to start out the very, or I don't want to say the very first broadcast, the second broadcast with a famous quote.
Do it.
All right, yeah, this week's famous quote will come from a former teammate of mine. We'll just call him the Sniper. But anyway, his quote was, he used to always say, tall and thin makes him grin, but short and fat is where it's at. That's his quote.
Well, Todd's fat. You are. You have a little bit of weight on you.
Yeah, man, I didn't want to say it, but hey.
That's how it goes.
I told you I just ate. I got 2 hamburgers.
But hey, yeah, we'd like to have a weekly quote. So.
Well, yeah, I like the weekly quote. If you have a weekly quote and you want to share it with us, because one thing that we love is originality. I think I even wrote a book like that once, or came up with a book.
No, you didn't.
I absolutely did.
No, you didn't. I did.
Go ahead and give us a call, 681-222-ROGN. Leave us your message, your text, whatever you might want to think about saying. If it's a quote that you heard, like if it smells like cologne, leave it alone. Something like that. You know what I mean? We're good with all of that. We're good with all that. We're good. That's fantastic. But anyway, tonight's going to be a fantastic episode because once again we have Matt that's going to join us, and also Erica. The big issue now, the iPhones came out, the brand new. It seems like every year now. It doesn't seem like there used to be iPhones come out like every year, but it seems like now they are. And this latest one is going to be a rendition of the 6, I guess, because they call it the 6S, and people that love Apple will go batshit crazy over all of this stuff. And so far, though, with iOS 9, there's been a lot of problems with it.
It's the same thing with all the iOSs, too. Like, you would have, like, 6. iOS 6 came out, and then they had, like, 6.1, 6.2, and they'd go through these different renditions, and it was so long before 7 came out, but now it seems like they're just jumping over everything. And
it's the same way with Android. Android, they come out with stuff, and you have even people that make their own ROMs, and you can flash your own ROMs. That's why I'm an Android guy, for the mere fact that you can root. But even though most of the ROMs from stock now are basically baked with all the stuff that you used to have to root to get, But we're going to talk about a thing going around the internet about this thing that Sprint's had actually for a long time. But there's this like a Snoops or I read about it on the Facebook, but Snoops kind of did away with it. There's a thing.
Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
There's a thing on the iOS 9 that will basically change. It will pick your best signal for you. So if you think you're on Wi-Fi, in a lot of plans now, the way things work, and you have a data plan, a limit. You only have so many gigs per month, right? Well, when you get home, you put it on the Wi-Fi, then you basically don't have to worry about it, allegedly. Well, depending on how well your Wi-Fi signal is, it'll switch. And Sprint's been doing this for a long time with their connections optimizer, where it'll go between the cell signal and the Wi-Fi signal, depending where you're at. And then sometimes you don't realize that you're on your cell signal when you're doing a lot of data downloading, and then all of a sudden at the end of the month you're like, hey, whoa, I'm 300 gigs and I only have a 1 gig limit because I bought my phone at Dollar General.
I don't know. I couldn't imagine a cell signal being better than a Wi-Fi signal.
It just it just all depends. I mean, if you don't have it's under the say if you're at home, the Wi-Fi for whatever reason goes out. I don't know why.
Speaking of Dollar General, I just want to interrupt this, man. I was at the DMV today, right?
Okay.
I was there for 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours.
No.
If you ever want to see why West Virginia gets its stereotypes, just go hang out at the DMV a little bit.
Is it better than Walmart?
Dude, it was terrible. I mean, yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was just, everything smelled like stale smoke.
Did you see any bellies hanging out underneath shirts?
Oh, yeah, they were everywhere. Bellies and old tattoos that looked like they were in jail, and that was just the women.
My goodness, man.
But anyway, the Dollar General made me think of that. Go ahead.
Well, wow. I mean,
the Dollar General made you think of the DMV?
The bad thing about it, though, I go to the Dollar General every day to get my Slim Jims. And listen, I have a doctor's appointment coming up here in a couple of weeks. And one thing everybody knows by this point is that I'm not really good with my diet. Listen, every single day for breakfast, I have, if they have actual Slim Jims there, I'll have 2 of those big long Slim Jims and a bag of chips or something.
That's got to be tearing up your stomach.
Listen, dude. You talk
clogging his arteries.
You talk about crapping like a goose. That's me.
Because he does it every single day.
Every single day.
Which you, Chuck, What are those fish things you eat?
Oh, the whales.
Those
Whales
whales?
crackers. I love whales. Have you ever had the
but
whales?
you eat a bag a day. You can't eat a bag a day.
There's only 1,200 calories in them, and only 950 go to fat. So whatever.
Every single day.
Which brings up a good point. Did you get to see the what would they call it? The super blood moon that came out there on the 23rd?
Did you know that that was that's actually a lunar eclipse? Did you know that?
Well, it was a lunar eclipse, sure, and it was also a blood moon.
Yeah, everybody says blood moon, but does that?
No, it was two different things. Two things. That was what made it unique. The last time it happened was in 82, 83. 80,
Something like that.
80, and then the next one will be 2033. But there were actually two things that happened. You actually had a lunar eclipse, and you also had at the same time a blood moon.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings me to my next point. Give me your Wolfman Jack impression.
Yeah, give that Wolfman Jack. I can do a lot of impressions for you tonight. If you want.
I was watching the NASA coverage of the super blood moon, and it was brutal. It was hard to watch. Listen, there was a 90-year-old woman in the studio along with like a 15-year-old dude. And they were doing this broadcast, and I'm thinking, a lot of our money from our paychecks goes to fund this stuff. And you know what? Next time, by goodness, we're going to do a live video on YouTube, and we're going to do this. But anyway, I was thinking asteroid, right? I was thinking, what a stupid name for something, a rock flying through space. An asteroid. If it was up to me, if it was in my world, an asteroid would be what we called a hemorrhoid today, because it's on your ass. And what would you call a hemorrhoid? And you can't tell me. You know what I mean? And you can't tell me. It's kind of chauvinistic to say it's a hemorrhoid, because I guarantee women have it too. So I mean, if you say it's a sheroid or a hemorrhoid, depending on what it's on. Just like a hysterectomy. What guy besides Bruce Jenner ever had a hysterectomy? Shouldn't it be a hersterectomy?
Should be a hysterectomy.
Shouldn't it?
It's true.
Should be? You know what I mean?
If you want to be politically correct.
Hemorrhoids should be called asteroids. It shouldn't be called a hysterectomy. It should be called a hersterectomy. And you should never, ever, you should never go up to in a greeting when you're trying to be friendly with somebody and say hello. You should always say heaven-o.
Yeah.
Who in the world would say hell-o when you should be saying hell? If somebody comes up to me and says hell-o, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to throw holy water on them or something.
Speaking of the Pope.
What about the Pope? You gonna say something about the Pope?
Yeah, he's gonna take a swig of his beer and.
Jeez Louise, dude. You know what?
Hit from the bong too.
But anyway,
Smoking weed. You had that was pretty good.
That's fantastic. But anyway, we're going to have a Fido was supposed to be here with us, aka Dave Ernest, and he's having some serious brake problems. We're going to get him on the line because tonight we're going to be talking about privacy. All of us have. We all, first of all, like free. And when it talks to technology, when it comes to technology anyway, when you're talking about antiviruses or apps, you know what? Rarely do people actually pay for something. They want the free stuff. Well, it seems like now it's coming out where the free is actually free, but it's costing you your privacy at the same time. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. AVG was the one that really set this off. They're a very popular antivirus thing for home computers, and they have a commercial one where you'd have to pay for if you had a business, but they also have a free home one. Now, that's the one I use. I went through Avast.
I use Avast right now.
Get on your mobile device and get about anything you want.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. And we'll talk about that. ScreenWise panel, that's another one. Now, see, I've been using that a lot. It's called ScreenWise panel. No, it's an app you put on your phone. I don't think they have it on iPhone. Not really sure about that, but you basically put this app on here, and they basically watch everything you do. They record everything you do. They watch they just get all your habits, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what happens is they send...
Is it like a cookie-based type thing?
It's more or less like that, and that's the thing with cell phones is I really don't know how they do it or what they're seeing. Like are they seeing your actual text that you send in a message?
Yeah.
Boy, I hope not.
Jacked up.
I hope not. But they have those things. Now, what happens is they take that information, they sell it to advertisers to kind of get a habit of what people want to see, what people want to. It's almost like the old Nelsons or stuff like that, right? But they compensate me $3 a week for it. So I'm buying stuff off them.
They still doing that?
Yeah,
Is that Prime or something?
Well, no. Google. Google does it, but when you actually get it, like I've got 70, I think it's been $75, like $3 a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after, I think every $25 increments, you can actually cash it in for a gift card. So I use mine for Amazon. And you can get iTunes cards, you can get BW3 gift cards. It doesn't matter if they want to see.
I didn't know that.
If they want to see me naked on a picture, so be it.
I got some of them. I'll sell you some of them.
You know what I mean?
Todd does
throw it
that
on.
for free. What are you
That just
talking
gives me more advertising. But we're going to talk about that and how that's going to affect us all, as far as maybe you don't know what's happening by clicking, because when you actually get a free program like that, and you in the terms of agreement, right?
Yeah.
Next, or agree, install. No one ever reads that stuff. It's like 15 pages long. Have you ever read any of that stuff you install?
You go click.
They do that for a reason.
next,
Of course, they
next.
put the crazy stuff way down there, so you
Oh yeah, absolutely.
get to it.
Absolutely.
Nobody reads that shit.
Another big thing, the iPhone, we were talking about that earlier, the iPhone 6S came out. Now, this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the largest selling or the fastest selling iPhone out of all the iPhones, which is kind of hard to believe. It is kind of hard to believe. They sold 13 million of them in 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big number. I realize.
Especially since they just come out with 6 and everybody bought that. Is somebody dropping
It's
another
amazing.
$600?
Well, what's the iPhone 6 have that the iPhone 6? My wife's
It has
got
an
the
S on the.
iPhone.
It has
Yeah,
an
why don't
S
you
on
look
the end
that
of
up,
it.
Todd?
It has an S on the end of it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
about probably about
sucky.
it. But we're going to have Erica and we're going to have Matt
Stupid.
to talk
Silly,
about the
dumb.
differences and the experiences of having Apple. I know Matt's not a big fan. I'm not sure what he's carrying now. He's been a Samsung guy for a while. But one of the big problems is with the new phone comes the new iOS. Right? It just happens like that. It happens with the Android 2. They came out with iOS 9. It's having, to my understanding, that's what we're going to have Erica on there, some compatibility issues with the old apps. So if you're like, say, on an iPhone, I'm on a 5S, and some of my phones, right, I'm sitting here and my apps are crashing, everything's crashing. Now, I haven't upgraded to iOS 9 yet because I'm almost afraid. I think I'm on 8.1165.
Yeah, I got a
309
5 too, and
or
I'm
something.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's almost a hassle anymore.
And this was like brand new, like a year ago. I'm like, woohoo, I'm state of the art,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not
I mean,
anymore.
there's a zillion and one Android devices. There's only one Apple device per se, and that's always been like the kind of draw. If you have an Apple device, you're not going to have to worry about more or less the upgrades. But now, I think the big difference between the 6 and the 6S's and all that is 4K. I think they're 4K phones now, whereas before they weren't. No, I'm not. I don't want to.
It's dumb.
I'm sure they have some like little glossy things and stuff like that. But that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and there might even be a surprise. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm still
afraid of your surprises.
I'm still kind of insistent that we quit calling hemorrhoids because I base that all on. I'm telling you, I'm basing that all on the way society is now. It's to be a politically correct podcast. Is that we shouldn't be chauvinistic and to think only guys get hemorrhoids. So they
Do you got hemorrhoids?
Well, absolutely. Who doesn't?
Yeah,
dude?
everybody's got a hemorrhoid. Sometimes I take a string and tie it around them.
Oh, like and they just drop off
and
like
then they
warts.
fall off in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm still worried about your surprise, man.
Oh yeah, who knows what that's
As a wife.
But we're going to have all that and more. Thanks for listening to Rogan Radio once again. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Rogan Radio, Twitter, Google Plus, and on YouTube, which is if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, you can go to the YouTube, search Rogan Radio, and you'll be able to watch the actual video of us in action. Holy cow, bro.
No, I'm trying to look at the...
Yeah, I know what you're trying to look at because I can see your cursor trying to blow it up. Todd's looking at some...
No, look.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No,
he's doing
well,
iPhone. He's doing iPhone 6 4K research with
Yeah,
a hot chick.
see,
with
side
her-
by side taste.
Yeah, I can see that now. But anyway, go ahead and once again, if you
Look how
would,
much
please give
clearer
us some
this
feedback.
breast is.
Look at that
It is
breast.
holy
The other
crap,
breast.
holy man. That's a nice fountain she's sitting on there. It is 681-222 ROGN. Be sure to call us. You're listening to Rogan Radio. back on the Rogan Radio.
You taking our picture?
Whatever. Did you turn that phone on?
The phone is on. Actually, the very what's the word I'm looking for? Very technical video camera.
Technical.
You know, one thing I've noticed about myself is that if I'm not talking with my hands, I can't talk.
Sit on your hands. That way we.
Well,
can
because I have to. I'm much more animated when I do this.
Grab it like this and talk.
Oh my God, dude! Really? Really? Yeah, I'm glad those microphones are big enough for your mouth, buddy. Anyway, before we're having a good time with this, and it gets better each time. And Jimmy, you came up with something. You know, a lot of things. We're gonna have a lot of things to talk about. Once again, we're going to talk about the iOS and how Apple.
We're nerds.
We're nerds like that. We're going to talk about all of that. Talk about some Android stuff here a little bit, and privacy. We're going to get to here and shortly. One thing before we get into anything else is one thing you don't know is that you have to watch. You know, if you're really concerned about your privacy, you have to really worry about the agreement that you make. Same way with Facebook. There's a thing going around now with Facebook if you want to keep your post private.
No.
Listen, let me tell you this. If you're on
That's so
Facebook,
stupid.
if you're worried about your privacy on Facebook,
Just
Don't be on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, definitely don't be on the Facebook. Because
They're
the
gonna
Facebook,
charge me $5.99.
the whole point of being on Facebook is to be on Facebook and to share everything in your life, including when you have an upset stomach and
Exactly.
when you're menstruating and everything
You
else.
go to Facebook to see stuff people
That's
post.
right. Yeah, a lot of people.
Other people.
If you go there and expect nobody to have anything, then you wouldn't go there.
It's entertainment, and the great thing about Facebook is that you have there's a core group of people. There's like tiers. We should make tiers of people in the Facebook. You have people that are stalkers.
That's me.
Mhm.
You have the stalkers. Then you have people that literally post every 2 minutes of what's going on in their life, good or bad.
That's me.
You were the stalker too.
Mhm.
Oh, you're stalking too. And then you have the people that are narcissists.
That's me. Narcissist.
Narcissists.
They're narcissist.
But anyway, before we get into the next segment too deep as far as privacy and how you should be concerned about things that you put on your computer or on your phone just because they're free or because you think you need them, give us some science.
We got some stuff here. You know what? But first things first, though, we didn't give a shout out to anybody that likes Rogan Radio.
Oh, come
pull it
on!
up.
now.
Listen, this
You're
is gonna
right
wait.
about all
I already
that.
got something up here. Our first person we're going to give a shout out to is Bill Shriver.
Bill
Shriver. Yeah,
Bill Shriver.
Put your
He's
hands
a friend.
together.
Yes.
He's a friend of the
A
he's
friend that
of the
loves
show.
Rogan Radio.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for listening, Bill. You know what? Wait till because we could really get on to Bill. We could really get on to Bill. Bill's a good guy.
But he likes Rogan Radio. So
You know what we're going to do? We're going to
let him alone.
We'll start a segment, and somehow we're going to do this. I'm not really sure exactly how we're going to do this, but what we can do is pick somebody that is a fan of Rogan Radio. All right, and then literally call them on Messenger.
Yeah.
And that will be that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we'll spotlight them. Like you said, today's Bill Shriver.
Exactly.
Congratulations, Bill. You made a podcast
Bill.
on the second show, man. How important can that guy feel right now?
Hey, what do you have to say? He'll be like,
Who is this?
We probably need to call Bill and tell him that we even have a podcast. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, thanks, Bill.
So anyway,
Yeah, go ahead. Knock us out.
we're just gonna do a little, couple little science things. We like to, being the nerds that we are, we like to search around the web, and we find stupid articles that are entertaining to us.
We have small minds.
And exactly. So I came across a couple here. Well,
Oh yeah, go ahead. I mean, no, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm researching while you do
Yeah,
this.
okay. So we came across a couple here. One, this would actually wouldn't really benefit the fellas too much, but I don't know if anybody has heard this or seen this, but they developed an anti-aging chocolate,
What?
which it reduces wrinkles. It's been developed by Cambridge University.
Now, how's this?
And,
I mean, we're talking about wrinkles. Like, say, if you're a woman and you're worried about wrinkles because you're so
exactly
you're aging, because everybody knows that women.
Special chocolate. What better way to do it?
It makes me want to cry now that they've figured out some way that women can eat chocolate and become younger.
And they'll look 20
all
years
fatter at
younger,
the
and
same
they'll
time.
be 500 pounds.
It's a daily 7.5 gram bar of chocolate can change the underlying skin structure of a 50-year-old to that of someone in their 30s.
Whoa.
Their skin?
Exactly.
What about all the stuff that goes underneath the skin?
I don't know about all that. But just, do yourself a favor.
Eat more chocolate.
Any of the women that are listening to this, just research. Say anti-aging chocolate. You'll see it. It's. I don't know why it didn't get bigger. I mean, come on. This thing would sell millions.
Boing.
Oh, hold on.
For some reason, I don't know why this isn't already on the market making billions of dollars, because
Shouldn't
it would be. Because
Shouldn't Valentine's Day be every single day then? That way
Exactly,
you can give
right?
women
My
chocolate to make
goodness.
them look younger?
I mean, it even says here, a daily 7.5 gram bar of chocolate can change the underlying skin structure of a 50-year-old to that of someone in their 30s.
So, ladies, if your husband keeps bringing chocolate home, maybe he's trying to tell you something.
He very well could be. Or maybe,
Why are you bringing me so much chocolate, baby?
or maybe if your woman wants to go get some chocolate, maybe she's trying to feel younger.
Exactly.
Mm,
We're looking for a younger dude.
Have they done anything?
or a chocolate dude.
Or a chocolate dude.
Maybe she.
Yeah, well,
She
there
wants
you
a little
there you
chocolate,
go. That's wow.
Stick of vanilla. Yeah, that's
is it a special blend of chocolate, or is it
Yeah.
just any chocolate in general? Like you could either
Yeah,
you can go up to Hershey Highway and look 10 years younger.
Yeah, no, just get on Google. Scientists develop anti-aging chocolate. Man, the articles are all right there. I mean, it's fairly new. So
Right.
it's you'll probably be hearing about it a lot. More in the future.
You need to find something for guys to make them feel younger.
I mean,
Well, don't we want to look younger too? Don't we?
I think guys age better as they get older.
already developed that. It was called Viagra.
Boom.
Oh no! That's feel better.
No, you know what? You know what it is? You know what? All a woman needs in a man is Viagra and money. That's all. You can be the ugliest bastard on the planet. And you know what? If you got
Viagra
and money,
And
buddy,
money.
you are set. You are good to go. That's why you see some of these chicks that are 20 years old with 60-year-old guys. I still have
You
hope.
got to have a sugar daddy. See, I still have.
Sugar daddy, you're back to the chocolate again.
See, there
You ever
go.
have one of those things that stick to the roof of your mouth?
God, they rip
Listen.
out my teeth, but they're so good. You have
Oh
to eat
yeah,
them.
it's almost like those. What are those old candies you get? Those little Mike and Ike kind of things.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
little
my
jelly
goodness.
kind of things.
I'll eat those things and pull teeth right out of my head. You have anything else for us?
Yeah, that kind of leads me to the other one here, where scientists have supposedly invented a invisibility cloak.
Wow.
Now it's on a small scale now, and it's with different refracting light through different materials. But they're anticipating making this bigger, something, and it's movable that you could
Military
actually
kind
put
of thing?
on.
So you could be like a sniper or
Totally
something.
bends light so that you can't even see you're there. They
So
have
if you're
little
looking
pictures
right
and
at that
stuff.
thing, the
Yeah.
way it kind of it moves light around, you're not
It
even going
looks
to be able to
straight
see
through.
it.
I was thinking maybe it would look something like the Predator. You remember the old,
You're all sure.
like refracted light, kind of
Oh,
broken
yeah,
glass look.
yeah.
Is it waterproof?
But no, they had
Waterproof.
they had some stuff on there that pretty much
Really?
right through, saw you right through. They had pictures and
No
everything.
joke.
That's pretty darn cool. Now, see, that would fit in with the guys. The girls can eat the chocolate, look younger, and guys, we're perverts.
That's
Well,
good.
hey,
That's-
let's just get invisible and look at it.
Well, that's why I said if
it
it was waterproof.
Listen,
You
man,
know?
that is like a stalker's. Could you imagine?
Dude,
I'm going to
nothing
walk
would
right
be
in your
private.
house.
I
Listen,
know.
if I had an invisibility cloak, like something off of who's it? Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's exactly who they mentioned in the article was the Harry Potter club.
If I was Harry Potter and I had a cloak, I'll put that thing on and I would come walk through your house, walk right
Exactly.
past your wives.
So if my
and watch both of you
testicles
taking a
started
crap.
tingling, I would think it was you. And
Oh, that's because I'd be like this. Then I get like this. I get like this. The little flick. Like, ow! I need to go to the doctor. Something's wrong. I'm getting older. And I get plink on the other side
see,
because it's always the grays. at
gentle
herb stores.
vibrations.
Anyway, let's get back to. Wow. This is almost like Howard Stern now. Anyway, this is what's fantastic. AVG came out with the thing. AVG, once again, a very popular antivirus software. that people use on their home computers. Avast is another one. Norton, you have all kinds of them, but you have also free ones. And they came out with a statement saying on October 15th, basically they were going to be able to use, if you use their, no, I think they give you an option now because there's such a feedback for this, or such an outcast, or a what's the word I'm looking for? There's such a outcry. That's right.
Yeah.
Now, basically, what's going to happen if you have AVG on your machine, which is what I have on my machines, and I've never had I don't have any virus problems on the machine, that they're going to basically take all your information and all your surfing habits and everything else like that, and basically sell them to advertisers, and that's how they're going to make their money. Nice. And it's the same thing with apps. You have to watch, because like when you have your phone out, you see it, and you're saying, okay, it needs access to contacts, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Next, because you want to play Angry Birds.
And it doesn't work unless you have that.
And you have to do it. You have to do it.
No, who reads that next?
There's a big thing going on right now, I see on the Facebook, concerning Facebook, and this isn't anything new, that if you don't pay $5 for them to hide yourself off of the Facebook, that all your stuff's going to become public.
I still can't believe that people fall for that stuff, though. Really?
Well, you know what? First of all, in my mind, if you're on the Facebook, or if you're on Twitter, or if you're on Google Plus, or if you're on YouTube, you're on that thing to basically show everything that you're doing.
Stuff. Yeah.
Why else would you be on it?
You have friends in different locations. Hey, look, here's my kids. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
If I had a Facebook account and I didn't show anything, what's the point? Unless
you
just want to spy on other people.
Absolutely. That's part of the stalking tier.
Exactly.
It's just amazing to me that, but really, you need to watch, because as things go along, companies are getting more genius. As cable's finding out, you pay a cable bill, and you pay the cable bill in allegedly for, the reasons to watch what you see on TV. Now, the cable guy is actually selling advertising in their own right, just like a newspaper. Why aren't newspapers free? Why aren't magazines free? They're selling ads to put them out there, but you also have to pay for it. You see what I mean? And it's becoming now where it's the same with computer programs, and it's the same with apps on your phone. The only problem is now, unlike when you're getting a newspaper, you're watching TV, or you're reading a magazine, now they're looking at your text messages, your emails, if you're on, you could be looking at train sets, or you could be watching porn, and you know what, it's going somewhere else, and you don't know where it's going. It's going to be a big privacy concern, and you can bet sooner or later, and I think even Amazon's doing something right now with the underground. They call it the Amazon Underground. So it's all kind of new, but it's a way for companies basically to make money.
Exactly.
And so it's going to be kind of interesting.
Make more money.
Well, sure. Now, to be fair, I do a thing called Screenwise Panel. It came out by Google. And Google, it's an app that you put on your phone. I think IM Mobile or MI Mobile is another one that I do. Yeah. And you put it on your phone, and it basically tracks everything you do. Who you call, how long you talk to them, text messages, emails, surfing habits, everything you do on your thing. Now, what they do is they take that alleged information and they give it, anonymously to advertisers to kind of give them an idea of what people, it's almost like Nelson, and once again, or Nielsen, however you want to say it, or Arbitron is with radio.
Yeah.
That's right. But they also give me $3, $5 a week, something like that. So every so many months, I have like $100. I can go to cash it in for a gift card. I take it to Best Buy. I buy stuff from Amazon. I'm like, hey, I don't care what you see. I mean, you're doing it anyway. I mean, you ever wonder why when you get on Chrome and you type in something, it almost knows what you're doing? It's because it's watching what you're doing to make it a better experience.
Well, it learns.
Yeah.
Learns your habits.
That's what I mean. So, in a lot of ways, it's good because it makes for a better experience. In a lot of ways, it's bad because you don't know where it's going. I mean, the NSA's doing it. The NSA's doing it. Who cares? Because who cares about your text messages? All right, we're back on Rogan Radio tonight. We have a very special, actually, we're going to have a fivesome. We have Erica on the line, and we also have Maddie once again back on the line. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Matt, you there?
I'm doing excellent, as always.
And we're still here after the big non-asteroid event.
That was an exciting event. I'm glad a big boom happened.
Well, leave your sex life out of this, Matt. Hey, listen, did you get to see, you actually got to see the blood moon?
Yup, I was able to see it beautifully here.
Now, why don't you explain real quick before we get into talking about these cell phones and stuff, what actually, the lunar eclipse is one thing, but then you actually had the red tint and I assume that's from the sun rays and just almost like we see the atmosphere and just how it kind of almost projected itself on the moon. Because the moon wasn't actually red.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty much just a shadow, and then from the light going through it, made a red.
Kind of like the sunset
Color.
makes it, how you get that red sunset
Sure.
or the blue in the sky.
Sure. All right,
Yeah.
the big conversation tonight is cell phones. And Apple came out with the
That's so annoying.
I
Yeah.
hate
yeah, we're getting
Matt, are you an Android guy or are you an iPhone guy, Matt?
I'm an Android guy.
Oh, good.
Now listen, Erica is like Jimmy. She is Apple until she dies.
That's not an
That's
apple. That's
right.
not an apple right there.
That's a work phone, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, work phone,
Me
you
and
know.
not by
Jimmy know
choice.
what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh,
See?
Eric, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
At the end of this discussion, we will prove that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Team Matt.
That's what I'm talking about.
Team Matt.
They recently, Erica, what are you carrying? Are you still carrying your 6, or did you go up to the 6S yet?
I still have the 6, but I have the 6 Plus.
Oh,
Ooh, you
well,
got the
of
big
course,
one.
of course you do.
I'm still rolling with a 5 here.
And I have a 5S,
So old.
and I never use it. Now, have you upgraded yet to iOS 9?
I did, and then they came out with one that fixed, right? Like Bugs, the 9.0.1.
So 9 was.
Mine was
Oh,
Is
see, I
that
didn't even.
the same one?
Listen, all I know was 9 came out like a few weeks ago, if it was even that long ago, and then they've already come out with a fix for it.
I think they have, and I tried to download it tonight, and then my app wouldn't open.
Hey, Matt, this is where you say we're going to go ahead.
iOS programming.
Hey, look, yeah, even though I have an iPhone, I'll tell you that there's a lot of problems with them, and I'd basically just have this because it's just for ease. You know what I mean?
They're actually very easy.
Yeah, they're easy. They're user friendly, and it's just they're kind of just dumb. You just go, oh, here's my phone, and I just tap this.
Now, one thing that I will give Apple credit for, now I will do this, is it seems like the software, it's more, you don't have a lot of,
It's very user friendly, right?
well, it's user, and it's in the actual Apple stuff, like GarageBand, is actually, I really like GarageBand.
Well, you know what? One thing about the Apple is they take really good pictures.
And they do take good pictures.
The cameras on my iPhones are really nice. This is what I hate right here. Jesus criminy. How many people got this ringtone for their iPhone? Everybody.
Matt, what are you carrying? Did you ever upgrade?
Yeah, I'm on a Galaxy S5. I didn't go for the 6.
Yeah.
That's what I got, Matt. I love it. S5.
5.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
what you have the S5 too, Jimmy?
That's my work phone's a 5.
Yeah, and the government bought that? Well, of
That's
course they did, because they know
Of
what
course
they're
they
doing.
did.
That's what now the big difference between the iPhones though is just the S is 4K to my understanding. Now, don't get me wrong.
They're
Now,
different every time.
Now, Erica, you drink the Apple Kool-Aid, right?
Like the 5C. I think it
I
stood
do
for
drink
cheap.
it.
And listen, they sold 13 million of those phones in 24 hours. 13 million.
Of the S.
That's a boatload of phones.
That's a lot of phones.
They're
And
probably giving them out for free phones for
now listen,
Part of the
homeless
Obama,
people.
Part of the Obama.
Obama plan.
Obama cell phone.
No,
we got some iPhones for you.
I actually had a
They wouldn't do that. They want to give them the top phones to Android.
the flip phones. This is one thing that I know because I delivered a lot of those. They're called Obama phones. You know what I mean? but I've delivered a lot of those.
Yeah.
I've delivered a lot of those things, and I don't think people realize that most of the people that got them on, at least on my route, were drug users.
Yeah.
You know, so you're thinking, I'm thinking, these people are selling drugs and are doing drugs and they're getting free phone from the government. I mean, and you wonder why you're getting busted you wonder why you're getting arrested every other couple of weeks. That's too funny. That's too funny. But now but once again, going back to the iOS 9 is that, you know, so have you had any problems? What was your problem since you upgraded, Erica?
I just want it open. I think I just need to restart it, and it'll be fine.
The usual restart. Yeah.
How often actually do you restart the thing?
Not too often.
Yeah, I don't either.
Just
I barely ever
open the
restart
app.
mine.
Anytime she wants to open the app.
I barely ever restart mine.
Honest to
either.
goodness, I restart my phone every single day.
Really? I don't.
Oh yeah.
Well, you restart yours every day just because you got some weird thing in your head.
Well,
you don't have to. I don't.
It's like a nerd fetish.
Yeah, it's a nerd fetish. I never restart mine.
Now, in my mind, though, I'm thinking that I clear it out. I'm clearing the RAM. I'm doing, I'm just almost like Windows. Windows is, listen, I'm not an Apple fan. I'm not a Windows fan. I like Windows in a large degree. But at the same time, when stuff starts going bad, I'm thinking, okay, time to restart.
Yeah.
The driver's not loaded. Something went bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
are you telling me that you guys never have any trouble on your Android?
Never.
Oh, now listen, if I would,
I never have trouble on my Android.
Thank you.
I can open my app. I need to clear the RAM. I go to the option, say clear RAM, close unused applications, and my phone runs like new every day.
Every day, Matt.
There you go.
Yeah, I've had issues with mine.
No, you have
whatever.
not.
But of course, it's a work fan.
User error.
So.
Now the one big problem I'm having with the trend now of cell phones is how they're going to where most of the time now you buy a cell phone, it's on the subsidies. You pay like $100 or $200. Now Sprint has a great deal if you're an iPhone person. You buy the phone and you can upgrade to the next phone for free, I guess, as long as you pay that monthly installment of 10, 20, whatever. I think they're all doing that now, actually. But whereas before you could go in and buy yourself a brand new cell phone for like $100 or 50 cents, or they had these penny sales.
As long as you do a 2-year contract or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff now you're paying like $500 or $600 for.
Yeah.
Now, but they say your bill is lower on the month because you're not paying that subsidy.
It's not, man. I got AT&T and Steph got a new iPhone, and it was like, we got screwed into the deal somehow. They were like, oh, they got rid of the 2-year contract thing, but yet you still have to pay the $600 for a phone. It's ridiculous.
Well, here my biggest Matt, who's your service through?
I got T-Mobile.
See, now T-Mobile has a great service. Erica, how about you?
AT&T.
AT&T. How's AT&T in Lumberport?
Sucks.
It's good.
What?
I got AT&T on my phone, and I couldn't even get a signal the entire Lumberport Hill.
That's because this is a Sprint house, baby.
Lumberport Hill isn't any good.
No, not in the summertime.
Well, that's all of Lumberport.
No, get out of here.
But I'm in the city. City of Lumberport.
City.
Yeah, you call that a city? City?
The big city.
Maybe it's a village. Maybe it might be a little village. Gone.
But anyhow, you guys have me all flustered, screaming at each other like that. It kind of turns me on a little bit. We're having like a threesome tonight. But with they're doing all this. The thing that has always driven me crazy, and the question I've always had, now that they've come out with these plans to where, okay, you pay $600 for your phone, we're going to make your bill cheaper on the month because you're not, subsidized, your phone anymore. Whereas before you'd get that subsidy on a 2-year contract. Okay, so after 2 years, if you don't upgrade your phone,
you're still paying that.
My phone bill, my phone bill never went down.
Never goes down.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, after 2 years, you would think, okay, well, my phone's paid off. So now, is that Jurassic Park? After 2 years, my phone's been subsidized. So then, why doesn't my cell phone? Have you guys ever had cell phone bills that ever went down after a 2-year contract was up?
Nope.
No, dude, I never had a cell phone bill go down.
Man,
although I will say AT&T, mine went down initially because I wasn't paying for a phone, and I got onto their new family share plan. So I wasn't under that 2-year contract anymore, and it did go down like $20 or $30. Then I ended up buying another phone, and now it's like way higher than it was originally. So
yeah, have you guys ever had a cell phone bill go down, Maddie or Erica?
No.
Yeah, yeah, me either. It's amazing how that works out. Not a real big fan of what's happening now, and because the technology now, it seems like it's kind of. I mean, what else? It's to the point where I'm not seeing really too much innovation. I know.
You're still, $600. Dude, I could buy computers cheaper than a phone. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and you're halfway through paying on your phone, and they already have 2 new versions of the phone out, and you're like, man, I still got $300 to pay on this thing.
Matt, what didn't you like about the S6 going, made you go or stay with the S5? Say.
Really wasn't anything about the S6 that I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like the fact that it was no longer waterproof and there was no micro SD support.
Right.
Really?
But otherwise, like the difference in the price, it was like actually like I think $12 a month for the S6 over the S5. So in terms of functionality, they were identical. So I just figured why not save myself the $12 a month.
Right.
Well, the S6 doesn't have a removable battery.
Well, that's something else too.
We like the removable.
I like the option of it. You know what I mean? I've never had to. I've had that S5, and that's one of my biggest beefs with Apple has always been you can't take the battery out. Mm-hmm. Erica, how's your battery life on that phone?
Not too good. If I'm just using the phone,
I just make sure I have a charger with me all the time.
So you have to.
You have to have a charging cable everywhere you go. I have one at work, one at home, one in the vehicle.
But I'm bad about leaving my apps open and not closing them. So
they'll drain your battery.
Right,
too.
absolutely they will. But see, that's one thing. That was one of my beefs always with an iPhone is the fact that, you know what, once that battery starts, and they go bad over time. Now, what do? You have to send it back if you want to keep that phone, or you're forced into another 2-year contract.
I think they do that on purpose, of course.
Well, sure they do. It's like getting your oil changed anymore. Mm-hmm. But now that's going back to the Samsung thing that Matt was talking about with the S6. Is that with the S6, not only did they take away any SD support, you can't put any extra memory in it, which has also been. You could always go buy a 16 gig phone for another $7 or $8. You could add another 32 gigs if you find the right sale on an SD card, right? Well, you can't do that anymore.
iPhones, you can't put SD cards in iPhones.
No, you
see
can't.
What it is Apple was ahead of the game. They were ahead of the times. They knew how to do that. See, now you got Samsung's just coming around going, oh, wait a minute.
What do you think about the LG phones, Matt?
LG phones are actually pretty impressive, but so are the Sony Xperia phones, but they overcharge for what they offer, so no one's adapting to them.
See, I mean, have you tried an actual Windows phone yet?
I tried one a couple of years ago. I forgot the name of whatever the hell it was.
I'd be curious to look at it.
I didn't mind it, but like the grid and block setup, it's nice, but it just seems too cluttered.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
It's kind of like the Xbox One. They all went to that format. You know,
what they call it, the Metro. The Metro.
Yeah, they all went to that format.
Speaking of that, have you upgraded to anybody using Windows 10 yet?
No.
Matt?
Yeah.
Erica? Oh, are you on the Mac?
No.
Really?
My toddler smashed in my laptop, so.
That's fantastic.
We have to plug it into the TV if we want to see anything.
Nice. In my house, you might not want to plug it into the TV.
What do you think about Windows 10? I mean, they did away with the tiles or the Metro or whatever they called it.
It's not bad. It takes a little time to really adjust to if you went from Windows 7 or Windows 8 right to this, you'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Right,
you still have your dashboard screen. It's all simple once you learn it. After it takes 15 minutes to really learn the ins and outs of it, though.
Yeah. See, that was my big thing because I went from Vista, and then I went to 7. Okay, not too big of a deal there. And then I went to 7 to 8, and I was like, whoa, this is completely different. And the thing that I did with 8, the first thing that I did every time I booted that computer up is went right to my desktop. I mean, you had your tiles.
It, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I would go right to my desktop, which is what I've been used to, and that's probably why I've been used to that. And I never really did catch on. Did you ever try the actual apps on that Metro board or the tile board, Matt?
No.
Yeah,
never.
no. I mean,
It's just
everything.
cumbersome too.
Yeah,
It's
well, I
just,
mean, it's you would have your Explorer app that would be your browser, right? And then, or you could just go and open up your browser.
yeah, dumb.
Yeah, and and I use Chrome anyway because it syncs through everything, and so that's how that was. Now I've put all my machines up to Windows 10, and minus some like little driver issues. So far I don't. The nicest thing about it so far for me is I don't have to hit the desktop button to go to my desktop. I mean, it's right there again. The biggest problem that I'm having though with 10 is I'm wanting to swipe from the right to get, because there's like gestures on the 8 to get search and all that, and it's not there anymore. And I'm swiping on that thing saying, where in the hell is all that stuff at now?
That's funny. Going back to the LG, I would like to try the LG phones because I'm a big LG fan. I like their TVs. And
My
all
brother,
their junk
he's
here,
got that new LG, and he really likes it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, the LG, I think with the LG 4, heck, what is it? What's the LG 4S or 4G? Is it the LG 4G or something like that, Matt?
Yeah, it's some crazy thing.
LG G4? That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right.
That's the only one left that you can actually take a battery out of and put a new battery in, and with SD card support in it.
Wow.
Because that's always been a big draw of mine. You buy that's what Eric. How big's your iPhone?
It's 128.
Oh well, of course it is.
Well, see, that's
I think
what,
mine's
that's
16.
that's the whole.
I take a lot of pictures.
That's where they're going to get you though. That without that SD support, now they're going to force you to pay that extra money to go from 16 gig because you'll fill that up pretty quick.
And listen
to 64 or 128.
And explain to me this: why would Apple, or why would anybody, say with the S6 that could record in 4K video, why would they even release anything on 16 gigs? That can't be very much time. 4K takes up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and if you only got a 16 gig, you're going to fill that thing up in about.
Yeah, and not to mention your OS.
Picture, video, you're like, click.
Jeez Louise, dude. Let's make our own cell phones. Anyway, we came up with a real thing real quick, and I want to get your guys' opinion before we split here real quick. Okay. It's a play on words. Asteroids. Okay? Asteroids. Should that be actually the name of hemorrhoids? Because I feel that hemorrhoids is
It's in your ass.
It's like, well, I mean, you know what? It's biased because him and hers. There's not a him and you don't say I have a like say if Erica has hemorrhoids, she wouldn't say that. She would say she had hemorrhoids. She's almost forced to be submissive to a man. So I think we should take the name off.
As it should be, Chuck.
Call them space rocks. We can just call them space rocks, space roids, space roids, and then it's called asteroids. Asteroids. Asteroids are on your ass.
I agree.
Well, they're there.
Thank you, Erica.
See? Yeah.
Thank you, Erica. So that's the big discussion tonight. But hey, thanks for you guys for chiming in, and I hope you guys feel free to or even want to participate in future episodes because we really don't know where it's going. Well,
okay.
Hey, thanks you guys once again for calling in, or actually us calling you and talking to us.
All right. Thank you.
Later on.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right, Eric and Matt on the phone talking about the apples, the differences, blah 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 blah, and
That's Todd again.
Jesus, dude, can you not find a different sound effect?
Yeah, that's what I said to Steve Jobs.
That is absolutely.
I will look for you.
Can you actually, Jimmy, on your iPhone, can you actually change? Well, how much can you change? And can you actually do your own ringtones and things like that?
Yeah. You can do all that stuff. I mean,
So if you want to put Snoop Dogg,
Yeah. I want to put Snoop Dogg or something on there.
I'd like to hear some Snoop Dogg right now. Actually, you know what? I don't want to hear Snoop Dogg.
You
Turn
tell
that
me
off.
what you
Turn that
tell me
off.
what
Turn
you
it
want
all off. You know what I want to hear right now?
I'll do it. Come on.
You know what I want to hear right now?
I'll do it.
I like Snoop.
I want to hear our own beatbox.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day.
Jimmy, start us out. Start us out because this segment's. All right, you're listening to Rogan Radio.
Weird.